So Aisha is Kamala Khan's great grandmother. I play a part in her origin story. As far as we've seen in the episodes, that I'm a jinn, and there's a lot of mystery around Aisha. But I think the way it's unfolding, it's beautiful. The way it keeps giving you a bit about it in every episode, and there's this huge build up towards the coming episode. So I think I'm very happy. I am myself very mysterious in real life, and Aisha is so relatable for me. Though I'm not a jinn, but a lot of people might say that I am. I think it was badly needed, a female South Asian superhero who actually represents us in a very balanced, in a fair, in a nuanced, in a very authentic manner. It was needed because for the longest time we have been misrepresented in the West and in Bollywood. And I mean, as long as it's a fair, a balanced portrayal, which never happened before, it would have been okay. But I think this show actually launches with this superhero, with this brown superhero, female superhero. I think imagine all the girls out there, how inspirational it's going to be for them, how they look up to Kamala Khan, and how important the role that it plays in their lives when they're also at a point where they're discovering themselves, they're getting to know about themselves, and it's about finding your inner superhero, no matter who you are, where you are. And I think Kamala Khan speaks to all of them, all of us, and represents us as in the most authentic, in a most balanced and fair portrayal, which was needed. So it was honestly a dream come true. Being on the sets, I was just in awe of the level of production, the kind of professionalism that I experienced, as well as the teamwork. I lost count of the number of nationalities that were actually involved in creating this show, not just the ones that were on the camera as characters and actors, but also people behind the camera. So I think it was just so magical and so fascinating to see all of these people from different parts of the world come together into creating this masterpiece that is now out on screens and people can actually see and witness. But it was the diversity that really struck me. Also, the fact that Pakistani actors are given a global platform. And it was me, it was Fawad Khan, it was Nimra, it was Samina Ahmed, it was Verda Aspan, and people from India as well, actors from India like Farhan, Akthar. There were a lot of other actors too. I think it's never been done before, not anywhere in the world. And for Marvel coming up with this, for creating this show, for being so brave and for being so on the dot, I think they really need to be applauded. And for Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, having a Pakistani director to be shooting and to be bringing Pakistan and all the right nuances, I think she brings this certain authenticity and attention to detail that is so relatable. That is something that people can resonate with. And with all the reviews that are coming in, with all the feedback, I mean, people in Pakistan are jumping up and down. It's not just the youngsters, but also people from, all ages. And especially because there is a very important historic period that is depicted and portrayed in the show. That was also never done before, and something that all South Asians can really relate with and can actually see their ancestors going through it. And it's just painful, it's heartbreaking, but also at the same time, it just makes people realize the struggle and the pain that people just not too long ago, but 70 something years ago experienced. And it's a very dark period in our history, but for the Western audiences who didn't even know that it happened or this something like this happened, is so profound, and they get to know and get to see and learn more about us in a very authentic manner. I think it's been a wonderful experience, and it couldn't have been better than this. I think authentic. Why? Because it is authentic in every shape and form, in every way, in every aspect. It's pure authentic content that represents Pakistanis and Muslims and South Asians.
I think Miss Marvel is such an important superhero because she redesigns what it means to be a superhero for so many young men and women growing up around the world who can see a reflection of their own experiences, of their skin color, of their lives in the conversations she has in her family. And I really wanted to be part of the storytelling team that brings Miss Marvel to life, that really takes her from the comic books and brings her out, so that her experiences and what she has gone through, and in her search to find her powers, she inspires so many young people to begin to believe that they too could be superheroes. I wanted to bring authenticity to Kamala Khan and to her experiences. I come from a very rich culture of textiles and music and art and food, and I wanted to open up this world to the rest of the world, sort of letting them in on the secret that we have this culture that, and our weddings and our festivals are worth celebrating and being part of. And I wanted to make sure that that celebratedness, that sort of color, that sort of vivaciousness played out on screen. When I was thinking of directing episode 4, I was, in essence, creating a world for Kamala to enter into. And I was born and raised in Karachi. And so I thought about the places that I love to eat at, the streets that I love to walk, and how would I want Kamala to see my city? And I literally walked my city one day thinking about all the places I would want Kamala to be at. And then with that map in place, I decided to replicate that. And so she goes to the Chinese restaurant that I grew up eating in, and she walks the old town on a heritage walk, something I do on a Sunday. And so that Karachi that no one has seen on screen before, I wanted to give it life. I always think about Kamala as a story of a family. And as long as you're rooted in the relationships between the grandmother and the granddaughter, her relationships with her cousins, and her relationship with her own mother, I think those quiet moments, those moments when she is exploring the city with a new friend, when she is sitting and having a quiet conversation with her mother on the dinner table, those are the moments that you see her as just Kamala and not as a superhero. And I think at the heart of the story is the heart of a story of a family who is coming to terms with its secrets, and on a journey where a young woman is finding her voice. What really excited me about working on this Marvel project was the fact that Marvel had assembled this crew from around the world of people who came with their own experiences that would elevate the story of Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel. And so there were people working from costume design to art direction to props that were authentic to making Kamala's experiences come alive. And I think that it's very rare to find a crew that is diverse. And I think that when you watch the episodes, you see what they bring with them. Our art director and the patterns he researched, and our costume designer with the outfits that was designed, every little detail that went into creating Miss Marvel's world is, when you watch it, you realize the attention to detail and the care that it has gone into. And that could have only happened with this assembled crew that was put together. We, when we were thinking about how we wanted to tell Kamala's story in Miss Marvel, we thought about the actors that would breathe life into these characters. And it was important for us to bring actors from the Indian subcontinent, from India, from Pakistan, from the diaspora, so that we would have actors who bring with them their experience to play those, and that they would be authentic to those roles. And so, and when you see the episodes and you see her grandmother and you see the relationship between Kamala and her grandmother, so many viewers, when they watch that scene that takes place between her, in which they are bonding and standing on the balcony, they see a reflection of conversations they've had with their own grandparents. And so in order to do that, we drew from a very rich cast from around the world. I I hope audiences laugh and cry and cheer Kamala on as she goes on this journey. I hope they fall in love with the grandmother and her quirkiness, and they love the music that we have chosen for the series, and that they go into their neighborhood and find and eat a Pakistani meal, or the next time they have someone that they know who has a wedding, that they want to be part of it. It's so important to normalize and to celebrate each other's cultures. And I hope that Miss Marvel does that for people who never thought that they would be watching a superhero from an immigrant family, and never thought that they'd fall in love with that mother and that father and see themselves in that, in those relationships that are taking place.
Well, to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is it's surreal. Been a fan of their work, of everything that they've been putting out for all these years. And I mean, as much as one fantasizes about wanting to be a part of it, it's still strange when it happens. So I'm still I think coming to terms with it. The character of Waleed is he's from the Order of the Protectors, the Red Daggers. And he's someone that Kamala meets when she goes to Karachi searching for answers. And he is someone who is part mentor and part someone who helps her understand her powers better. So he is kind of, how would you say? Like, yeah, I think a mentor probably is the best way to define it. Well, to watch to watch the subcontinental culture being represented in a Marvel show is a massive deal. It immediately includes and represents so many young boys and young girls, who've been watching their shows and watching their films, and somehow never probably have not had a kind of point of identity, which says that even I could be a part of this world. So when they see Miss Marvel and when they see all the characters around Miss Marvel now, when they see that the shows travel to Karachi and it speaks about the history of this part of the world, it shows the culture, it shows the traditions of its people. It immediately gives them a feeling of representation, of feeling included, and gives them a lot of hope, to be able to dream big. So it's very, very important that Marvel took the step. And I'm very grateful to be part of it. Working with Sharmeen, who directed the episode that I'm in, was a good learning for me. I mean, because apart from acting, I do direct myself. So every time I work with directors who I enjoy working with, I try to inculcate something from them into the way I would when I go forward. So she's very detailed. She's a great listener, a great observer, and is very comfortable with the material that she's doing, has a great understanding of it. So for me, it was very useful to have someone like her who understood the culture that she represents, that Kamala represents in the show. Working with her was great. Working with Iman was just out of this world. She's an incredibly gifted and incredibly talented actor. This is the first of many big things, to come for her. So to kind of be with her and see the genesis of this great talent has been very, very special. And apart from her, of course, the crew was great. Gary, who did the action, was phenomenal. Aramis, who plays the younger Red Dagger, is another incredibly talented young boy. So all in all, it was just a very memorable experience. When a viewer watches Miss Marvel, I think what he and she can look forward to is really fun and good, engaging storytelling. And that's at the heart of any good piece of work. I mean, of course, there's incredible action, there's great visual effects, there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of great dialogue, but there is an incredibly powerful story, and great family kind of drama in the middle of it all. And I think that is something that is surprising and at the same time very, very special about the show.
Oh, being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just completely a dream come true for a kid. To be able to play a superhero, someone that people are able to look up to is just, it's really, really special. On top of that, I would say, South Asian representation has never really been shown on mainstream television. And to be able to really pioneer a new world where people can look up to heroes and have a hero that looks like them and sounds like them. It's really special. I'm honoring my family and my grandmother, and everyone is so proud of me that I want to keep it going. Yeah. So I play Kareem. Kareem, also known as Red Dagger or Lal Kanjir to some. He's a vigilante crime fighter born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan. He is a part of a secret society called the Red Daggers. And the Red Daggers vow to keep the streets of Karachi safe from criminals as well as the dangers of the unseen. In this case, it's the clandestines, the Jinn realm. They've studied the Jinn realm for hundreds of years before Kareem was even born, before even Waleed was born. They have dedicated their cause to keeping people safe in Karachi. Oh, I would say that we're a friend for sure. I think that there's a lot of banter between the two of us, a lot of sarcasm. But overall, I would say that we're friends. I think we're both very charmed by one another, as well as we see ourselves in one another, and we're able to help each other a lot, which was really easy because, Iman and I became such good friends off set that on set it was like, we just snap right into it. And we could do our job like with our eyes closed practically. Working with her was just incredible, and creating the dynamic between the two was really fun because there's a lot of comedy in it as well. Her asking me if how my mask fits over my huge mouth, or me comparing her powers to Donkey Kong. I definitely think the writers were having a field day writing jokes for us. So I would describe the relationship between Kareem and Kamala as it's very charmed. We're very charmed by one another. But there's also a lot of banter, a lot of sarcastic banter between the two of us, just based on her being a new superhero and Kareem being a superhero who's kind of worked his whole life and been living in this life for so long. We become great allies for one another. We can really lean on one another when we need help. And Iman and I offset, are such good friends that going on set and delivering the lines, it was like life imitating art, besides me, having a Pakistani accent. But overall, we had such a good time creating the dynamic. And Red Dagger is a smooth talker, a bit of a wise guy, but also very compassionate and passionate, and really great ally for Kamala. My experience working with Sharmeen was incredible. I don't know how she did it. When we were in Thailand shooting all of the Karachi stuff, from rain delays from rain to lightning delays to having to translate to crew, it was really an uphill battle to shoot there. It felt like the weather just had it out for us. So there were a lot of days where we were trying to fit in a whole day into 30% of the time a normal day would have. And watching her feel the blows and still have a smile on her face and still be someone that we can go to talk to, who will support us. I don't know how she did it. I would have been completely pulling my hair out. If I could describe Miss Marvel in one word, it would be exuberance. And the reason why is, one, because we're led by Iman, who's such an exuberant person in general, so youthful and colorful, not only in the color palette that we use for the show, but also in the characters that we're creating. Everyone is so colorful. Exuberant would be my choice.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Click and watch our suggested video playlist right now for more entertaining videos. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.